Workers rescue dog from icy lake, only to find out it's not a dog at all. Construction workers Rando Kartsip, Robin Silame, and Erkki Vali, performing repairs on the Sindi Dam in Estonia, were caught off guard by an unusual sound from a canine that wasn't what he seemed. The workers approached the bank of the Parnu River to investigate, and about 100 yards out, they spotted the pooch splashing frantically in the water. But as they watched, they soon realized the gravity of the situation. Right away, it was clear this canine was in danger. The icy river was surely chilling the poor pooch to the bone, and from the way it was struggling, they weren't sure it could tread water much longer. Without hesitation, the three men leapt into the river and hurriedly swam toward the struggling animal. The ice was thick, but together they managed to carve a path and bring the dog to safety. The men quickly wrapped the shivering pup with a heavy blanket, and it was then that they were finally able to get a good look at the dog. It was large with thick fur and piercing yellow eyes, a one-of-a-kind look for a common house pup. Knowing the animal needed help, the workers didn't have much time to admire her coat. The blanket was doing little to warm her up, and only proper medical care, not even a big fat fire, could save her from hypothermia. So, taking the animal in their arms, the men carried their newfound friend to their pickup truck and laid the shivering dog inside. Then they phoned their local animal hospital, who told them to bring her in right away. The truck sped to the hospital, and all the while, the animal never stirred. In fact, it slept almost the entire way. Its head laid upon Kartsep's lap. Even in its poor state, it was sure a cuddler. No sooner did they arrive at the hospital than the veterinarians were on the scene, carrying the dog inside and immediately working to nurse it back to health. But there was only one problem. This wasn't actually a dog. In fact, veterinarians couldn't identify what it was. With everyone stumped, the doctors phoned in a local hunter to see if he could shed some light on the situation. Sure enough, the man knew exactly what they were dealing with. This wasn't a dog, it was a wolf. The construction workers were in shock. Not only had they completely misidentified the animal, but they'd actually kept a live wolf in their vehicle without so much as a leash. If it had wanted to, the wolf could have easily made a snack of them. Thankfully, the icy waters had served to sedate the wolf, which explained why it was so docile when the men had rescued it and placed it in their truck. This state of calm wouldn't last, however. It was, after all, a wild animal. At first, he was so done in for he didn't resist at all. "We simply kept him in this room," said head clinician Tarvo Markson. "But once he started to get an idea of the situation, I felt things might quickly take a turn for the dangerous." And turn they did, for as the animal recovered, it began acting as one would expect a one-year-old wolf to behave in a small enclosed space. So, for its own safety and for the safety of the doctors, the wolf was placed in a cage. By day's end, the animal had made a full recovery, and the clinic was confident she could be reintroduced to the wild without any repercussions. But even so, Estonia's National Environmental Agency decided to fit the wolf with a GPS collar just to be safe. When it came time to release the wolf, it took off in a flash, disappearing back into the wilderness. Kartsip and the others waved goodbye as it went, a bittersweet end to one unforgettable day of work. We're so happy for the outcome of the story and wish to thank all the participants, especially these men who rescued the wolf and the doctors of the clinic who were not afraid to treat and nurture the wild animal, said the Estonian Union for the Protection of Animals of the incident. Still, it wouldn't be surprising to see something like this happen again in Estonia, as the country is home to a large portion of Europe's wolf population. In fact, the wolf was named Estonia's national animal only a few months prior to this incident. Incredibly, this particular wolf was actually spotted in the wild just a month after its run-in with the construction workers. Considering it was photographed over 70 miles from where it had been released, it looks like this lucky guy is doing just fine. Though some would think it's impossible to confuse a wolf with a dog, people seem to misidentify animals all the time. And for those that are none the wiser, they might accidentally wind up bringing these doppelgangers home as pets.